everyone.
How's it dancing?
I hope you guys are having a good afternoon.
Hello, Jen and Sam and Beth. Thank y'all for joining us after Hobie Bingo. I got my 25 points, but that's about all I got.
That's pretty much.
Jen, sweetie, we appreciate so much you just being here. We'll keep you up with what's going on. Just don't get caught at work, okay?
Yeah, don't get
Hello,
caught.
Tracy, Amy, Lana. How are you ladies doing this afternoon?
It's good to see all of you. I hope you're having a blessed day. Goodness knows I am. Sort of. You know, I had to make a business call. And while I'm on the business call, my husband calls me. So I message him real quick and say, I'll call you back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm having to do a secure DocuSign when I call him up. And he's all excited and he says, his FedEx brought my new cell phone. I was like, no, why? I said, no, why? Are you going to come and pick it up? He says, no, I'm not going to pick it up. I just want to know if it's there. And I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to fill out this DocuSign. And he was worried about a cell phone that's not here yet. I did get the email of the twins. They are adorable.
Aren't they beautiful?
They are. In the second picture, they're holding hands.
I know.
That's so cute.
I know.
I love the pumpkin onesie. I was so cute. I was tickled.
And you know what? Even though there's just a little bit of difference in size right now, that's okay. Being home, healthy, won't take any time for him to catch up. He will be just fine.
It's wonderful.
Yes, it is.
I loved it. I just, I was so tickled to see them. Yeah. They are a true blessing.
Mm-hmm. So well, just to know that they're both home. You know, babies that are twins, they need that contact with their.
They do.
Oh, Porter is the bigger one? Okay, well, I really couldn't tell. You know, there's not much distinction, really, when you're looking at the faces, which is the boy and which is the girl, but that's great. That's great. You know, just as long as they're both home, they're healthy, mom and daddy can take care of them. You know, that's the most important thing.
Well, I also have a complaint. This is funny. I bought a new eye mask for sleeping. And it's got a built-in earphones. They're built into it, little speakers for your ears, you know. You don't feel them when you're wearing this wraparound eye mask, which is extremely comfortable, very soft, very squishy. It works perfectly. I have it Bluetooth connected to my phone. Here's the thing.
You baby girl.
When I turn it off, you know, because when you wake up in the morning, you want to turn it off.
Right.
And then at night, I have a very hard time turning it back on. So Joey said, my husband, just leave it on. What's it going to hurt? You know, it doesn't hurt anything to leave it on. And it's just sitting on the side table. Here's the problem. Anytime my phone rings, it goes through the speakers on the eye mask, so I don't hear it.
Oh, no.
And then when I answer a call, I have to real quick hit the Bluetooth because they're talking in the eye mask.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a pain in the butt.
Mm-hmm.
So I either deal with difficulty turning it on,
right,
or I have to real quick turn off the Bluetooth on my phone when someone calls. Yeah. So it's
I'll tell you what, for me, being lazy and not wanting to deal with the difficulty of turning it on and off, I'd hit the Bluetooth thingy on my phone. But that's just me.
I do. Now, I cannot turn off the entire Bluetooth on my phone, which would be the answer for most people.
Right.
go to the main Bluetooth on your phone and turn it off. I can't because it's
Oh.
connected to my pump.
Oh, yeah, you sure can't.
No, it's connected to my pump and shows my blood glucose.
Yeah.
So I have to go to like each individual call and real quick turn off the Bluetooth on the
Oh
particular
my
phone
goodness.
call. It's very funny because
Mhm.
we found that out the hard way when my husband called me. And I'm going, hello, 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 hello. And he's hearing me and I can't hear him. And then it dawns on me when the Bluetooth is lit up on the phone call.
Right.
And he hung up before I could get the Bluetooth off. And I called him back and I said, guess what happened? So we know
Yeah.
now. Hi, Carrie.
Hello, Carrie. How are you doing this afternoon, sweetheart?
No,
Thank you for being here with us again.
I just wanted to give a little complaint, but I do love the eye mask. I think it is phenomenal. It's probably a lot easier to turn on than I realized, but hubby hasn't looked at it to show me exactly where to push.
Right.
It is a square and it's all black, and I have difficulty turning it on. But that's me. So I'm just leaving it on until he looks at it and marks it for me.
There you go.
So today's discussion that we're going to have, and this is going to take a couple of episodes, is going to be all about pattern designing and writing patterns. And, some of you may have already written patterns. Maureen and I have both written patterns. There's a little caveat to that. I do write patterns. I do design patterns. Maureen does assist me in having them typed up.
Yeah.
Because visual impairment, sometimes it's hard for me to have them typed up. I do write them out in longhand, but
what she's trying to tell you folks is I type a lot faster than she does.
he types a lot better than I do. I am taking a class on using Word. So maybe I will get better at typing in Word. I'm not very good at it, but I'm learning. So maybe I'll be able to start typing them up. We'll see. We'll see. I also like the format of Maureen's patterns better than the old format I used.
Thank you.
We'll see. But we're going to start off, have you ever wanted to design a pattern? And I did. I'm like looking all over and I'm like, well, that used to be a pattern I designed. Bless my soul. That was a pattern I designed. But have you ever wanted to design a pattern? Like that. I didn't design that, but have you ever wanted to design a pattern and write it up and offer it to people for free or for paid?
Right.
That's a good question. I used to be able to do that. I don't do that anymore. It's eyes. So, you can make money selling your patterns.
That's right.
And that's a big deal. And it's what you call passive income. I understand that you want to learn to read them.
Well, pattern writing, pattern reading, it doesn't matter which one comes first. Obviously, most people want to learn to read the pattern. And that's always a really, really good thing to do because, sometimes we see something that we like and there's not a tutorial on it. But I find that as far as the designing part is concerned, that I have to put myself in the place of the person that's going to be reading it. And so I'm going to think of every little thing that I can. Yes, Tracy, I've seen some of those, but the best ones I've seen you have to pay for.
Yes, there is, Tracy. There is. However, for a decent one, it's costly.
Yes.
And I don't, the way I speak normally, because I use some things that are text to speak, to,
Mm-hmm.
speak to text. They change my words.
They do it a lot on some of us. I mean,
Yeah. This is my voice for YouTube. My normal speaking voice is not normally like this. It slips out a lot. I'm trying to get more comfortable with speaking to you in a normal speaking voice.
hello, Laura.
Hey, Laura. It's not, I haven't been able to get myself to do that. This is habit for me.
Mm-hmm.
I got made fun of for the way I spoke. And so I developed a speaking voice, and it's just habit. My normal voice would be, if I design a pattern like my recent skulls, I'd make a chart only and no written instructions. Now, when I spoke that way at work, I got made fun of. I had somebody come up to me and teach me how to use an elevator. Not once, but twice. I worked at a hospital, and they treated me like I was stupid because of the way I spoke. It was Southern and country mixed into one.
Mm-hmm.
And I really got made fun of. So I developed more of a speaking voice, which I use on here because I was afraid I'd get made fun of. And now, if I talk to y'all like this, I was afraid y'all would make fun of me.
See, isn't that right, Crochet Kevin? I keep telling her that.
Thank you. But I have a habit of bringing up my real voice, of bringing up my video voice, my family calls it. And I even talk in my video voice to my husband. My family, if I talk in my video voice to my sister, she says, "Are you recording me?" My sister sounds like me. But
See, look, Lana. I know.
I've spoken like this. I have spoken like this for so long that going back to this is harder.
Mm-hmm.
My accent does thicken. When I'm around certain people, I can't not do my accent. My, my, my mother was born and raised in Alabama. So
Mm-hmm.
she raised her daughters, we were all like this. And I grew up in the country. So we had a country twang to it too. But when I went to work in Washington, D.C., I got made fun of, child. I really got made fun of, and they always treated me like I was stupid. And I hated it. And it really pushed in on me. And then I get into the other voice, my phone voice, my video voice, and I don't come out of it. Is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. Now I'm trying to get back. They was.
Yes.
They was.
They can be. Exactly.
They was. And they affected me for many, many years. I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured if I come back like this on here, people would think I was faking it. But many people over the years knew I'd talk like this. But you try talking into that speak to text software, You'd be surprised what people say and what that face is. It comes around weird.
Hello, Amber. Thank you for being with us. She says, I wish I still had my Alabama accent. It has disappeared.
Well, I grew up with it from a small tot. I mean, all my life, really. So I'm used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's
And
our Miss Pat. How are you, sweetheart?
Miss Pat, bless your heart.
Yes.
I seen what you post on Facebook. Thank you for posting that.
She says, I bet though when you get mad, your real voice comes out.
When I get mad or I'm drinking, I can't help it then.
Mm-hmm.
Hubby knows when I'm mad. Hubby knows when I'm mad.
Lana says, my mother's side of the family were all from Florida, but they had a strong accent. They said I was the one with the accent, but I didn't think California had an accent unless it was from my mom.
Oh. My mother had the deepest Southern Alabama drawl you had ever heard.
Wow.
But so did my uncles, my aunt, and my grandma. Oh, my word.
Hello, Darla girl. How you doing?
Hot Sam. Hey, Darla.
Oh,
I'm used to that with my family. It don't bother me none. My brother and my baby brother and sister got a country accent. They have a few words that they say with a Southern thing to them that they got from me and Pam because their mama wasn't from the South. Their mama wasn't at all. She's from Maryland. But they picked up a few words from Pam and I. I love the
Amber says the only word she's kept is y'all.
Oh, I got a few more words than that. Like, bless your heart. One of my favorite sayings.
Yeah.
All right, I can't get off topic. Okay, so hopefully you will learn to read a pattern while we're going through talking about writing a pattern.
Right.
So hopefully you'll learn that while we're going through this. Okay. We want to talk you through hopefully designing your own crochet pattern. Okay. And you're going to be able to do this even as a beginner. So I'm can. Now we are going to go through the basics, which is no fun.
But nope, you got to start somewhere.
Yes, it is. It could be a good thing, or it can be a bad thing, Amber. Now you got to know all your stitches. Yes, bless your picking heart, honey. You got to know the basic stitches because you're going to have to write them out.
Right.
In your pattern. So you got to know the slip stitch, the single crochet, the half double crochet, the double crochet, the treble crochet, and any other type of stitches you do. Like if you're going to do the bean stitch, you got to write down what you're going to abbreviate it as. And then you write the bean stitch, and then you're going to write how you do it.
Right.
So if you're going to do the shell stitch, you got to write what you abbreviate it as. Write out the shell stitch. And then you're going to write out how you do a shell stitch. That way you're not constantly writing in your pattern the shell stitch or do all these mini double crochets. No problem, Gypsy. I'm glad you're here. So that's
hello, Gypsy Sweet Pea. How you doing?
Okay, you need to be able to do that. And you're going to, hey, Frugal Mama.
Hello, Frugal Mama.
You're also going to need to do a gauge swatch. I know you hate doing it. But when you write a pattern, you need to do a gauge swatch so that the people reading your pattern know what your gauge was.
Right.
When they go do the pattern, you need to tell them what yarn you used, what the weight of the yarn was, what hook you used, and what brand hook you used, so that when they go do the pattern, they have some semblance of an idea of, because you're going to tell them, okay, it's an amigurumi pattern. It's going to be, it's going to be, this tall. Well, they need a gauge swatch to know that, okay, if it's going to be this tall, and then they use a different yarn, they're going to be like, hey, wait a minute, mine didn't come out that size, your pattern's messed up. But if you did a gauge swatch in this yarn with a particular size hook, and you told them, this is my gauge swatch, in 4 by 4 inches or 10 by 10 centimeters, this is what I have, this many stitches per row, and this many rows in this square, then they'll know what their character will come out to be. Then they won't make a hat that'll fit a chihuahua instead of their head. So you have to do a gauge swatch for your pattern. It makes a difference, especially to the person that's going to purchase your pattern or download your pattern for free. They need to know what size it's going to be. It makes a huge difference. The best patterns already have that. They need to understand that this is going to be either US terminology or UK terminology, because that's a huge difference when it comes to the terminology. I know you don't want to say them, but you got to. It makes a big difference to people. I mean, whether the amigurumi is going to be this big or whether the amigurumi is going to be this big. What if they want one this size, not one this size? So you kind of have to do that, because that's a huge difference in size. You don't want people going around saying your patterns are garbage when they're not garbage. It's just the person didn't have the gauge swatch to go by. They need to know your gauge. It makes a difference. They also need to know if it's US terms or UK terms, because that makes a huge difference. Yes. UK terms are much different than US. Now, it's okay to use US terms. Just state in there that they're US terms. When you go to write out your terminology, the SC is single crochet, put there at the top, US terms, and then our US terminology, and then write, SL means slip stitch, SC means single crochet. That way they know. You can't assume that your reader knows that a DC is a double crochet.
That's right.
You can't assume that. You have to write it as though it's a beginner.
Right.
And you have to use the same abbreviation throughout the entire pattern.
That's right.
If you're going to do a capital DC, then you have to do capital DC through the whole pattern. You can't switch it up and do small DC. Aha. Not amount of stitches. Oh, okay. There you go. Knee high to a grasshopper. Yes, it is. It's knee high to a grasshopper. That's why you read charts only. No language barrier issues. But someone like me, Sam, I can't read a chart. I don't see straight lines. All my lines are wavy. I can't read a chart. I knew how to read charts. I do. However, with my visual impairment, I can't read a chart.
Right.
Doesn't matter how big I make it. It's awful.
And, really, there's lots of great resources out there that if you don't want to worry about making abbreviations for stitches, there's great resources out there for you to go and find what is the most common abbreviation for if you're going to use a double crochet shell stitch, or if you're going to use a bean stitch. Because remember now, there's two different sizes. There are stitches that give you a floral effect, like the posy stitch, the chrysanthemum stitch, the rosebud stitch. I mean, and there's already abbreviations out there for you. You don't have to make up your own.
No, you can go to the Craft Yarn Council. They've got all the abbreviations done for you. You can go get them from the Craft Yarn Council. They're universal. They are. But you still have to write it out, because you could have a beginner who's never seen that abbreviation. So you still got to write that out. You got to make it easy on them. You got to make it easy on people. I'm sorry, but you do. That at least good pattern writers do that. That's one good way of doing it. It's an easier way of doing it. And then, after you've done that, then you got to find inspiration. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Chris. How you doing, sweetie?
And then we find inspiration for our pattern. What inspires us to make something? I can be inspired by a hank of yarn with neon nets. Hi, Kitty.
Hello, kitty girl. How you doing?
This could inspire me to make something. I mean, that's inspiring. I can be inspired by pictures in nature. Believe it or not, Oogie Boogie inspires me to want to make a crochet version. Yes, he does have a book of abbreviations. It is very
he does, Sam.
Yes, that is awesome. I like that. And his book of abbreviations is actually fantastic for those of you that don't know. It is very, very well done. And if most people should refer to that. Go ahead, Sam. Try that link.
Hello, Lego man. How you doing?
Hey, little Lego. Oh, yay. Wait, Kitty, you work on that. But you can find inspiration pretty much anywhere. You do an abbreviation log on all your patterns. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. My Oma helped me read that kind of stuff. I'm pretty much self-taught when it comes to writing patterns.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do that. I'm terrified of doing tutorials, even though I have done them on TFF.
My grandma taught me how to read a pattern from charts. And by looking at the charts, I had to write down what the chart told me to do. So it was very easy whenever I started designing my patterns. I mean, I kind of already knew how to write them. And she had taught me, of course, a lot of it was her own, stitch abbreviations. So whenever I started writing my own patterns, especially to share with folks, I had to go out there and find me some resources in which to make sure that my pattern abbreviations were what was generally accepted.
Yeah.
So.
Universal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The nice thing about charts is you can read Japanese patterns and Russian patterns.
Oh, yes.
And I'm actually sad that I can't do patterns and do charts anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had some beautiful, intricate lace patterns.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm sad about that. But, is what it is. If I find a chart that I really want, I'll beg one of my friends to handwrite it out. But I haven't seen one that just like bowls me over, I haven't seen one yet. But maybe I will.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. There you go. Thank you, Sam.
Thank
There
you,
you
Sam.
go. That is a very good guide, and I have seen
Mhm.
that guide. It really is. You can also check out the Craft Yarn Council. They have
Mhm.
universal ones, and I'm pretty sure Mikey got a lot of his from the Craft Yarn Council.
Right.
It is spectacular. It works out wonderfully. But you do need to have good abbreviations. Hey, Pat Cray.
Hello, Pat Cray. How are you doing, sweetheart?
And also, you know, we just need inspiration. But you can find inspiration anywhere and everywhere. It does. I think it does. But there's inspiration everywhere. Um, I could get inspiration. Hang on, I'm going to show you. I've actually found inspiration. This is a headband from a headband.
Mhm.
I love that, and I would like to repeat that.
Mhm.
I just think that's very pretty, just the style of the leaves. So, oh, I'm sorry, Pat. Prayers for
I'm
you.
sorry, Pat, sweetie.
But you can get inspiration from a headband.
From
Um,
nature. I tell you what, where I get a lot of my inspiration, and I know many of you know exactly what I'm going to say. Pinterest. I love going on Pinterest and seeing new styles. But it's more so it's the color combinations. Because guys,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I'm not good with colors, and I've never. No, let me back up. I have used the color wheel from time to time, but I don't always agree with their color choices. What they say, this will complement that. Or, this goes really well with that. And I sit back and I go, are you kidding me? Who in the world ever thought those two colors would look good together? So until I actually see it worked up, yeah, that's one of those times where my visual uh, learning comes in as I have to see it.
So I also get color choices from, I'm going to find it. Oh, come on.
But yes, me and Pinterest, boy, we are like this when it comes to looking at things that look good in colors together.
All right, now I'm going to show you. I also get color choices from Canva.
Ah.
You guys know I love Canva. All right. And I come down here to see combine. Okay.
Oh, yes.
I just picked YouTube thumbnail. I click design. And when I click design, it shows my brand kit. It shows templates. It shows styles. And I come down and there's combinations. And I click see all. And see the colors that go together? They are beautiful.
Now that I can get behind.
And you just scroll down and it just shows you many different, see, I love that. Many different colors that actually coordinate. And the more you scroll down, the more there is. There's just so many. And just all different types of colors that go together. And it just amazes me. And hang on, I want to show you something else Canva's got. And hopefully it'll come up right here.
Well, while you're looking for that, Chris said, Froggy, that leaf pattern has been done by Steffi Glaves. Oh, not found.
Why didn't it come up? It's K-A-N, the Canva.
You go ahead and do what you need to, Lana.
Oh, they don't have it open. Well, Canva has a color wheel. And when I put in for the color wheel, they don't have it open.
Well.
Oh, it's been done by, oh, okay, by Steffi. Okay. Thank you.
Cool.
I just think it's very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would look really pretty running down the center of a scarf.
Oh, yes, it would, wouldn't it?
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It, tickles my fancy, so to speak.
Hmm.
It's just different. You can find inspiration in anything. I mean,
Right.
you're surprised what you can find inspiration in. Hang on. There's so many things that you can find inspiration in. Oh, I think I finally found it. There it is. I spelled colors wrong. It had a U. Well,
Oh.
that's my fault. There's the color wheel, which I love playing with this and finding things that work together. Those are complementary colors.
And see, that doesn't look good to me.
We can go with monochromatic colors. We can go with those. I think those look good together. Those are triadic. And we can go with 4 colors. I think it looks cool.
You see, still not tickling my fancy.
That's fine. It doesn't have to tickle your fancy.
I know.
But we can move to the blue. Let's see what that does with the colors. See, that looks good.
Now that to me is more your primary colors coming out.
It is.
Almost, like the red could be a little more red and the green could be a little more green.
Yeah.
But I realize too, I'm very much a traditionalist.
There's analogous.
Now that I like.
But I like that. There's berry red green.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of things that you can do, with the color wheel and color combinations, monochromatic,
Mm-hmm.
analogous, triadic. I'll put this in the chat for you. And then there's difference between shade, tint, and tone.
Right.
One adds black, one adds white to it. And then you've got the hue and the saturation and luminance and stuff. So it makes a difference even in colors. And I'm even inspired by some of these. The saturation and the luminance kind of inspire me. It really interests me. I like to play with the color wheel. I actually have one that I play with. So I find these things fun, just to sit here and play with colors and see what they do. Now I wouldn't go with this color. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But that's me. Some people might like that.
And see, that's why I say it's very hard for me to play with the color wheel. I hadn't thought about going on Canva though and doing it like this. I will tell you though, before I even really knew there was anything like a color wheel, I'd go to paint stores and I'd get all their little paint swatches,
Yes.
their little tabs, and I'd start putting them together and I'd say, oh, I like this. And then I'd go home and I'd match up my yarns to it and put it in the order that I wanted it if I was making a blanket or a cardigan that was multicolored, or even my granny squares, if I had a particular color scheme. But
Joey
yeah.
Joey got mad at me doing that and kept throwing away my paint biggies. I'd have them all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Wayne learned a long time ago. If I go like Home Depot, I always go over there, especially when it's the changing of the seasons and new color palettes are coming out and everything. Yes, I go over there, and a lot of times when he can't find me, especially in Home Depot or Lowe's, That's where I am, and I'm sitting there looking at the colors. I'm starting to play, paint chips here and there and matching them up the way I like them, the way I think they ought
Mhm.
to go. And yeah, I always
I
come home
like
with
to
a few
do
of
that.
them.
I
Yep.
see how we've got them going, hey, I'm gonna go play with the paint chips. Yeah.
Well, it's cheap. I mean, you're not buying anything. You're just getting these color sticks that are on the little strips, and you can start lining them up and putting them the way you want to and mixing them around. Yeah, I
It's
do
a
it
good
all the
way to
time.
put it's a good way to put colors together without bringing out all your yarn.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I like to do that. It's a good way to create a mood board.
Right. Exactly.
I like to do that. I enjoy it. It's me. You get your inspiration from your dreams, Kitty. I like that. You have tones of those pink. See,
There you go. Yes.
it's a good way to get inspiration.
Mm-hmm. It
And
really
I
is.
love that. And obviously, I have a lot of fluorescent ones. I won't deny. Yeah. 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 Tiffany and Kevin. Oh, I'm so sorry. His father passed away.
um, your friend Tiffany and her husband Kevin.
That's got to be rough. But definite prayers for them. But, what are some other ways that you guys, that all of you find inspiration for things that you want to make? You can get inspiration from other people's videos, um,
Mm-hmm.
Pinterest, yarn colors. I get mine from nature as well. I showed you I get it from a headband. There's all kinds of things. There's so many things you can get inspired by. I mean, Julianne, which is Frizzy Bee, got inspired by a banana.
Mm.
I mean, come on. That's amazing. A banana. And it's stinking adorable and it sits on my desk.
Oh, look at that.
It is adorable. That is its name is Split and it's
Mm-hmm.
stinking adorable. But there's so many things that you can become inspired by. The yarn does inspire me a lot. Sometimes you pick up a showroom of yarn in the store. Yes, 3 other colors. Yes. That comes up later, but we can talk about sizing if you'd like. But welcoming in, it is wonderful to have you here.
Is it no? Hmm.
Noelia? Noelia? You got inspiration from
Oh,
model. Nice.
yeah.
Beach and tans, yellows, dark pink from a flower. I love that.
There you go. Look at that.
A 1978 crochet book you had as a kid. Yes, you drew a designer. Yes, a design.
Design for top.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yes.
Pat Cray says she gets her inspiration from craft fairs. Oh, most definitely.
I love that. Well, welcome in, Noelia. I like your name.
Spanish. It's
Beautiful.
beautiful. I've never seen that name before.
Hi, Ashley. The,
Hello, Ashley, sweetheart. How you doing?
the tree in the front yard, the leaves are turning from green to yellow to an
Uh-huh.
gold. Oh, wouldn't that be beautiful for a throw?
Yes.
I love that. I do. You're waiting for your mom to come and get you from work. Wonderful. That is awesome.
That's awesome.
See, hey, Lydia, we can get inspiration to make something from really anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, the sky's the limit. It's amazing. Hi, Karen.
Hello, Karen. For colors, I have red and green tinted acrylic that helps keep to similar value and intensity. Yes, that works
Hey.
too.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie.
Oh, Diane, I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Oh, sweetheart, you're not late. As long as you show up, that's all that matters.
Yeah, you're not late. We're still, yeah, we got 15 minutes. Yes, it's so wild. You're considering making it too. Wonderful. You should make it.
That's right.
I think that's spectacular. I love that idea. We could get like ideas. I mean, I have a couple of books for children's clothing that I could adapt to an adult clothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
And vice versa.
Absolutely vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that you could do. Oh, I'm glad I got to go to Michael's with you.
She's proud of herself. She only bought a row counter.
Wow.
You've got much stronger willpower than I do, Darla.
I would never be able to walk out with just a row counter. I'm saying. Not at Michael's, not with all the Karen cakes. Are you kidding? Karen cake. Latte cakes, halo cakes. Oh. Oh my. No, I mean, there's so many ways you can get inspiration. It's wonderful. Yes. Yes. You can find a lot of inspiration in the fabric department.
Oh, yes. Just looking at the fabric itself.
Oh.
Pulling the colors that they've put together. My goodness.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It is wonderful. Go lay down, sweetheart. I hope you feel better.
Yes, Pat Craig. Take care of yourself, sweetie. We'll be here.
Yes. I love that idea. Oh, yes.
Yes, they do have some cute accessories.
They have some amazing accessories.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Now we're going to just chit chat for the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
The next time on Wednesday when we're on, we are going to talk about the design process with like starting a simple project, breaking your design into smaller pieces or motifs, writing clear and concise instructions step by step, row by row, using stitch charts and diagrams with visual aids, and tips for making patterns for different sizes. So that's what we will cover on Wednesday at 2:45 Eastern. The top you drew in the back of an old crochet book. Yes, you were about 9. That's awesome.
Wow. And you just recently found it. What an awesome memory, Sam.
I would so be recreating that.
I would, yes.
Wonderful.
Well, good for you, Maria.
That's awesome.
How you doing, sweetheart?
That is awesome. I like that. So we will have a sample written pattern for you guys to look at, and hopefully we'll help Lana be able to read it and maybe learn better how to read a pattern. But it gives you an idea of how to write a pattern. Hopefully that'll help. Oh, getting your whips ready to travel. Don't forget your chains.
Yes. You know,
that helps.
I think as far as pattern writing is concerned, once you have a layout, like the yarn you're using, how much yarn you used to create the project, because a lot of times that's left off of a pattern.
Yep.
And I have to admit that I am the world's worst about getting my pattern written and everything and out there to folks. And one of the biggest questions that I get back in an email is, how much yarn did did you use in making this project? And I'm like, I can't tell you how many times I've written myself a note, be sure to include yardage used. And I tend to leave that out every time. Hello, Maritza. How are you today?
Hola, Maritza.
But just remembering those things of the hook size you used, the yarn, and like I said, the yardage, and even the name brand, like Froggy said, did you use Red Heart? Did you use Premier? Did you use Ice? Did you use Caron? Did you use a brand that I probably never even heard of? It makes a big difference. Uh, yes, ma'am, I do.
No,
I
Beth.
just haven't put it out there on my Facebook page yet.
Beth, I've never heard of Goblin Tools. Do they come and do them for you?
It says you
Yeah.
put in the task and things like that, and it breaks them down into small steps.
No, I never.
Exactly, Karen. The yarn weight, fingering to bulky.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll create a PDF for you guys, and it'll be in my YouTube group and Maureen's YouTube group.
Mm-hmm.
That way you guys can download it. It'll give you everything that you need to put in your pattern listed.
Right.
Not formatted, but just listed. Because you need to decide your own format for your patterns.
Right, right. I mean, all of ours are different. I guarantee you that. Yes, it does, Karen, doesn't it? It makes a big difference in the size. And that's the reason why on TFF a lot and here with us, we harp so much on the idea of a gauge swatch.
Yes.
For blankets, you don't need it that much.
No.
Okay. But if you're going to make anything that is wearable,
You need one.
you really need to indicate a gauge swatch. You really, really do. Now, I don't normally make a gauge swatch or write down a gauge swatch like for my hats because, excuse me, that's just dependent upon, the circumference of your head. On Wednesday, Beth, on Wednesday.
Wednesday at 2:45 p.m. Eastern. Yes, I've seen the new L yarn. Which one by L? You got to tell me which one you're talking about, because there's multiple new yarns by L. But hang on, the one that's 300.
Rita says, I learned the hard way. The hard way. Do a gauge swatch if you don't believe in magic.
Yeah. You're talking about the one that's 328 yards. You mean Odette, Charlotte, or Aria or Ellie? Or Ellie? Hang on. Odette.
Yes, Karen. Well,
it's the Odette.
Whether I'm knitting or crocheting, of course, I'm a crocheter, I don't knit, but when I make my gauge swatch, I will then go ahead and wash it and let it dry and block it so that I can make sure that it's going to give me the size that I want by using the yarn and the hook that I'm going to be developing, whatever it might be. Oh, Diane, how sweet. She just joined your Facebook page.
Yes. Crochet Cabin, what size do you want to make? I need to know if you're going to make a 2X, a 3X, or what you're going to make. Or a small. I kind of need a idea.
I think she said extra large.
Oh, extra extra large. Thank you. It is kind of dependent on
the style.
On the stitch that you're going to use.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of dependent on that.
And that's a good idea too. Yes, keep a record of like if you know that you're going to use Red Heart Super Saver with an eye hook for many of the exact same projects, then I'm going to say, because I just know how I work with that yarn with an eye hook.
Oh, that didn't
I
work.
know what my gauge is going to be. Yes. Well, we'll talk about that when we do the design.
I would go with 5 of them. I think that'll work. There's my affiliate link. It won't cost you a penny.
Mama Gwen is saying, is the stitch a yarn eater? See, that's another thing.
Yeah, I would go with 5 or 6 of them. But that's me. It just depends on if your stitch is a yarn eater.
Well, that, and if your tension is loose or tight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm treating it like a 4 weight, not a 5 weight.
And see, Mama Gwen was saying, probably 10 to 11. Again, that's just going to depend on your gauge. What, I have to jump off, Dr. Call. Okay, you go ahead, sweetheart.
Right here, sweetheart. Half double crochet 6mm hook. I would go with 6. I'm thinking 1,800 yards should be enough.
Yes.
I would go with 6 of them, and please use my affiliate link.
Yes, yes. Diane has a good point there too. Work yourself up a 4-inch square, usually using the stitches for your design. That's right.
And that's how you figure out how much yarn you're going to need.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a big difference.
Yes, and Mama Gwen again. Are you going to have a pocket? Are you going to need a belt? Are you going to attach a hood?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Are the sleeves going to be long or, elbow length, 3/4? You're a relaxed crocheter.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still go with 8. But then again, is it going to have a hood?
If you're going for a hood, you need 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're going for a hood, you're going to need 10. I'm kind of in agreement with her. We don't know how long you're going to make it. So maybe 8. 6 to 8. Yeah. It is. Yeah, well, I make mine 6 by 6. And I measure in the middle. You're going to do a pullover with long sleeves, no hood. I would go with the 6. But that's me. And it's not like she can't go back and buy more.
Right.
So I would go with the 6. You're welcome. Use my affiliate link. It won't cost you a penny. Thank you. No, that's what I would do. But that's me. Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful sweater. I'd love to see it when you're done.
And you're using my favorite stitch. I love the half double crochet. I really, really do.
It's going to be beautiful.
Well, just with that extra loop in there in the stitch itself, it gives a little bit of texture. It gives just a little bit of flex movement.
And that's a fuzzy yarn. It's got a nice halo on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be pretty.
Yes.
It's going to be very pretty. Oh, but please join us on Wednesday here for the second part to this series. Nice, nice. So join us for the second part of the series. There's going to end up being 3 parts of the series. So join us for the second part on Wednesday at 2:45 Eastern time. And hopefully we can help somebody. Fingers crossed. But
I'm sure we will. I love the conversation that we've had with y'all today. It does show that y'all have an interest, even if it's a pattern that you're going to write for yourself and it stays in your own little notebook. I mean, that's good because pattern writing, I find, helps us to take others' patterns and adjust them for ourselves.
Yes.
So we hope to see you again on Wednesday.
I hope to see all of you here. I mean, I'm hoping you like this series, and I hope we can help someone at least learn to read a pattern.
That's right.
Hopefully, maybe some of you will start writing. I think it'd be fantastic.
I do too.
Stay safe, be kind to one another, and happy yarning. And Maureen.
Please remember to be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know. Could be your light they're waiting to see. We love you all, and thank you again so much for being here with us. We'll see you Wednesday.
We love you guys.
Bye.